Nile Kinnick was like the Renaissance man of college football. He went to law school. He was concerned about racial questions at a time when athletes didn't talk about that.
I was given a book about 5 years ago. There's a book out of Kinnick's letters that were put together. And when you read the letters, his correspondences, you could see that this was like a potential presidential candidate down the road, if everything went the way it should go.
January 1939. This letter was written by Kinnick during his junior year at Iowa.
Dear family, you are the recipient of correspondence from a lad whose mind is very much in flux. Constantly I am inquiring, wondering, speculating, and philosophizing about what my future education, if any, should be. Out of such musing and meditation, I have reached the following conclusion. Man should be motivated in finding his place in society by the desire to benefit his fellow man. This idea of working just to make money is all wrong. It seems to me absolutely necessary, and in reality a joy, that a young man starting out in the world should be imbued with the desire to benefit mankind. The world is alive, alert, and dynamic. So must we be.
In his senior season, Kinnick took over as Iowa's starting quarterback. He played every single down, on offense and on defense, 407 straight minutes without leaving the field. Kinnick was responsible for a staggering 82% of Iowa's points and won the 1939 Heisman Trophy. The United States had yet to enter World War II, and in his acceptance speech, Kinnick expressed gratitude that he was warring on the gridirons of the Midwest rather than the battlefields of Europe. He again spoke of the war and the role America should play when he delivered his commencement supper address to his graduating classmates on May 29, 1940.
And what now? Where do we go from here? What part are we to play in this dynamic, ever-changing world? Whether we realize it or not, we have lived a rather sheltered life here at the university. Here, our ideals are lauded, appreciated, and protected. But you know and I know that this period of easy idealism is at an end. So let us confidently take courage in what we deem to be right. Injustice, oppression, and war will ultimately bring on their own destruction. Now is the time for these problems to be solved by enlightened thought and understanding.
After graduating, Kinnick turned down lucrative offers to play pro football and entered Iowa Law School. As the war escalated in Europe, he found himself reassessing his views on the war. April 25th, 1941.
Dear family, we either must jump in this mess strongly, regardless of the risk, or refuse to take our rightful place in the world. Western civilization and Christianity are at stake. That puts it strongly, but is no exaggeration, just the same. Lincoln was a pacifist at heart, but when there was no other alternative, he grabbed the bull by the horns. He threw down the gauntlet and eradicated the evil. We are faced with the same thing, and the longer we wait, the worse it becomes. Those are my sentiments, and they are right.
In September 1941, 3 months before Pearl Harbor, Kinnick registered with the Navy Air Corps and began training as a fighter pilot. He trained in Pensacola and waited for the call to battle.
Dear family, by the end of the week, I shall start primary formation flying. Just about the time I get the hang of it, something else will be scheduled. And so it goes, as we are hurried toward the sterner task ahead. Some of the boys may just be living day to day with a fatalism precluding plans for the future. Not I. My imagination goes beyond the war to those blessed days of peace which one day will come again.
On April 24th, 1943, Kinnick was about to ship out on the carrier USS Lexington.
Dear family, this task which lies ahead is adventure as well as duty, and I am anxious to get at it. Our home and family life has been grand and fruitful, and it will be even better after this war is over. Truly, we have shared to the full love, life, and laughter. Comforted in the knowledge that your thought and prayers go with us every minute. and sure that your faith and courage will never falter no matter the outcome. I bid you au revoir.
The following telegram was written by Lieutenant Commander Paul Buey, June 6, 1943.
My dear Mr. and Mrs. Kinnick, it is with deepest regret and sympathy that I inform you of the loss of your son Nile in an airplane crash on the 2nd of June, 1943. Nile was engaged in a practice flight that took off from the USS Lexington about 8:30 in the morning. His plane developed a serious oil leak about 10 minutes before he landed. Having lost all oil, the engine failed, forcing Nile to land in the water. His loss was a terrible blow to all of us, and a serious loss to the country he so ably served.
According to eyewitnesses on the Lexington that morning, several sailors dashed out onto the runway just as Kinnick's plane approached. Kinnick veered away into the water rather than jeopardize the lives of his crewmates on the deck.